I want to get to this next story, which is about a Vancouver mom who had seen her daughter getting bullied online. You know, for those of you out there who have kids, teenagers, even younger than teenagers, and this has been a problem. In fact, there's a landmark trial going on right now in LA, of all places. This one specifically over Instagram and the fact that it is designed to be addictive. This mom decided, you know what, I want to do something about this. I have a teenager. What I thought was really interesting here, you know, the typical go-to might be to simply say, okay, no more social media. That did not turn out to be the solution here. Natalie Boll is CEO and founder of social media app. Can you pronounce it? Did you pronounce it Tribella, Natalie?
Yes, you pronounce it Tribella.
Tribella, okay. So bring us up to date. So your daughter in this case, how old? 15 years old?
At the time, she was 12 turning 13, and now she's 19 turning 20.
Wow, okay. So when did you first, with respect to being bullied, how did you discover this?
Well, we discovered it on her phone through anonymous apps that were connected to major social media platforms. And when we discovered it, of course, like you said, our first reaction was, we're going offline. Like, we will just delete all social media. And I did the same for myself. And Tribella really came from the solution past that was we shouldn't have to choose between complete digital detox or being in a harmful social media platform.
All right. So, I mean, it's not everyone, though, who decides to take matters into their own hand and come up with something else. I mean, how did you get there?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I did a deep dive into the harms of social media, and what really opened my eyes was that similar things to my daughter was experiencing was happening global. And now we're like 6-7 years later, and kids are still being harmed, if not worse, than the harms that my daughter experienced. So I actually looked at a lot of the civil court cases in the U.S., similar to what's happening now, and just really looked at what were the problems they were facing, what were the most harms, and how can we use design to mitigate these harms. And that's where I really became empowered to build a new platform, because I really realized that with design, we can mitigate the harms we're seeing.
Okay, so again, I mean, in theory, that sounds great. I'm sure not everybody can do it. I mean, I salute you for having done it. Before I get to that, though, what was the discussion with your daughter to say, you know what, this is not good, we need to do something else? How did she feel about this at the time? Do you remember?
Yeah, you know, what ended up happening with my daughter is that she felt that she was being punished because everyone else was online, you know? So when you take the phone away or you take social media away, it's really the fear of missing out. Everyone else is on that. All your peers are on it. So it was really hard for her to go offline, and it was hard for me to go offline too. And so that's really how she felt at that time. And this is where, you know, building a new platform was really inspiring, and she's helping me build it as well.
Oh, she's helped. Okay. What's that been like?
Yes.
What has that been like?
It's been really amazing because she still has a pulse on the youth perspective, and she has friends that are working as our ambassadors out of university. Wow. And really they're able to go, you know, what would my younger self have been able to, what would have been beneficial for our younger selves? And so they really helped with a lot of the design implementation, like the way we've designed our feed.
So when you talk about designing, we know that the typical sites that are on there now, I mentioned earlier on, they're addictive. We know that's part of an issue. How is yours different?
Yeah, well, we have three kind of main differences. One is, like I said, the customizable feed. So as a community member, you can go into your customization panel and completely customize what you see in your feed. It's based on your interest. It's in a timeline, and you can opt in and out of features and any kind of content. And you can also just isolate it to connections. The second thing that we've implemented is protective moderation, where it combines AI and human review of everything before it goes onto the feed. So we really mitigate against harmful content. We specifically look for any violence or sexually explicit content. And then the biggest part is making it more intentional. So we've taken out the visible like counts, we've taken out the follower counts or the counts on comments, and really slowed the feed down so there's clear stopping points. There's no autoplay, and really wanted to make it so you're like intentionally engaging with the content and it's not being pushed on you.
Can you still, is it interactive in a sense that if you want to share with somebody or with friends, you still can? You said you turn off comments in this. How does that work?
Well, we have comments, but you can't see it in the public feed. So if you click on, say, a photo, you can then comment and see who else has commented, but it's not calculated, so you don't know, like 25 people commented.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And you also can't see that in the feed, so people aren't engaging just because they have the fear of missing out to comment as well.
So I would ask a silly question, which I guess is, your daughter was on the other stuff that we all know, whether it was Snapchat or Instagram or whatever else. Has there ever been kind of a discussion about going back now that you know the harms that are there, that you can control what you see?
Yes. I mean, now she's much older, so the experience is different. It's still a big problem in her age group as well, with like addiction and, constant scrolling. But she is back on the other platforms as well.
Oh.
But now she's able to come and bring her experience into how can we reimagine social media.
So if I could ask you, for people listening, right, maybe in the same situation, have kids who are, going through this whole issue with social media, what's the advice for a parent?
Well, there's a few advice. One is obviously delay as long as possible your kids' access, but the reality is kids as young as 9 are on social media right now. The second, I would say, really have open conversations with them, know what platforms they're on, and really have open conversations about what they're seeing. And then, looking for platforms like Tribella that, are offering a safer place for them to connect.
So can the average person, if I'm here, someone's in Montreal who wants to get on your website, how would they do that, or on Tribella?
Yeah, they just go to tribella.com, and right now you can go to the Apple App Store and you can download. We're only on iOS at the moment, but we're bringing out Android soon, and you can join across Canada.
So Tribela, Tribella.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I have one last thing to ask you, sort of to this, but not exactly, because I said off the top, your initial inclination, which would have been to simply say no social media. Do you think, and we're starting to see more countries do this, I guess, Australia got the ball rolling, right, saying you'd have to be under 16 or over 16 to access it. Do you think we need to do that here in Canada?
Well, this is the big thing, is I strongly feel like how the platforms are designed today are just not appropriate for under 16, probably not appropriate for under 18, to be honest. And I know that the calls have been repetitive on changing the way that they're designed, and they haven't made those necessary changes. So most of the large platforms, the way they're designed right now, I would agree with that. But this is also where I feel like apps like Tribella, we're going, okay, well, connecting humans and joining people on social media is not necessarily bad, but the way it is right now currently, it's not appropriate for under 16, in my opinion.
We'll leave it at that. Natalie,
that's why I'm building Tribella.
Yeah, right. Natalie, thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Yes, thank you
Take
so
good
much.
care.
Have
You
a
bet.
great day.
Natalie Bull. Again, if you want to check it out for your child, Tribela, Tribella. Completely different online social media experience.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.